witness for the Lord. Paul was a witness for the Lord. Peter was a witness for the Lord. John was a witness for the Lord. Daniel in the lion's den was a witness for the Lord. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was a witness for the Lord. Will you be a witness? Lazarus, raised from the dead, was a witness for the Lord, from the Lord and from God, sent to spread his word, to be a witness as a disciple, and then on the day of Pentecost, became an apostle. Will you go forth? Will you go forth to be a witness? Will you testify? Will you tell it anyway when you don't feel like telling it? Will you spread the word? Will you spread the gospel? Will you tell the good news anyway? When you get tired with tears in your eyes, will you tell somebody? Will you tell them about Jesus? Will you be a witness of what God has done? Tell somebody how far God has brought you from a mighty long way out of the darkness, out of the highways and hedges, walking into the marvelous light. Will you be a witness? Will you testify? Will you tell somebody? Will you be like Matthew, Luke, and John? Will you be a witness? Will you be somebody for God? Will you tell somebody? Will you help somebody in need? Will you help somebody in the time of a struggle? Will you be strong as they know when God said be bold as the Lion of Judah, and don't let nobody deceive you as a wolf in sheep clothing? Will you be able to tell somebody about God? Will you be a witness with somebody watching and button your clothes up, young ladies and old women in God? Will we dress in sobriety and adorn ourselves in godliness and holiness like God said? And young men and pulling your little clothes up and button up your little shirt like God has told you to do also. Will you be a witness, or somebody will see the God in you, and somebody will see the authority of the gospel over your life? Will you tell somebody about God? We got to be a witness. We got to shine a light so the world can see our light. We got to be positive messengers. We can't be messengers of rejection and hope and destruction. We got to bring hope. For the kingdom of heaven suffered violent, and the violent taken it by force. We are bold. We are bold. We are strong. We are strong. We are courageous. We are courageous. We are witnesses of just who Jesus is, how he has delivered us, how he has set us free, how he has set our feet upon a solid rock and established all of our going. This is the Lord's doing. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our sight. He is excellent. He has done a great work. He has just done so many miracles. He has healed our body. He has healed our mind. He didn't let death have us. He brought us into a day that he himself has promised for us. He gave us life, health, and strength. He gave us food and a roof over our heads. God has made a way. God has consistently been our constant help in the time of a trouble and a shelter, in the time of a storm. He's a friend when we're friendless. He's a leaning post when we're tired. He's a rock. He's a rock in the weary land. He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock in the weary land. Jesus is a rock in the weary land. He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock. Jesus. 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 He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock. That road of Sharon. That road of Sharon. He's a rock. He's a rock. In a weary land. He's a lily of the valley. He's a rock. He's a rock. He's a rock. In a weary land. Jesus is a rock. Ooh. Jesus is a rock. Ooh. In a weary land.